Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm really happy to be here again and at a new time. Today, I'm going to talk about thriving in challenging times. So, let me know in the comments below if you're watching the replay. Type in replay in the comments below if you are watching the replay. So, thriving in challenging times. So, one would say that the year 2020 has been quite a challenging year. According to Tibetan numerology, 2020, when you add it up, you get the master number 22. Which means enhanced duality. So, what it means is that everything that is out of balance is going to be magnified in this year. And that is exactly what you are seeing now. You are exactly seeing the magnification of all the out of balance things that are in the planet. And also, what we are also seeing is that everything that is out of balance within us as well is being magnified. And so in one way, it's a really great opportunity for us to look at whatever is out of balance within us and you know bring it into balance. And I know that when things are really challenging for us in our life, our first instinct is actually to run away from it, to have that thing go away from our life. But hey, the thing is that it's not happening. It's really not happening in this year. In the year 2020, these things that are out of balance are not going to go away unless you really look them in the eye and you make different choices. You choose to change those things, right? How many of you are experiencing that? So, because I'm using StreamYard, I actually don't, see your names in the comments. So it would be really great if you would click the link in the description which says give StreamYard permission to show your name. So once you click that, then every time you comment, I will actually be able to see your name. Otherwise, I really won't be able to see your name. Okay. So thriving in challenging times. Okay. Now, what does thriving actually mean to you? And again, thriving means different things to different people. But today, I actually wanted to talk about three things that I consider as thriving, right? Three things that I consider as thriving, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And literally, if kind of you can work on these three things, then you will actually, no matter what is going on in your life, whether it is a challenging time, whether it is a not so challenging time, if you have these three things, you are going to thrive. But again, these are the three things according to me. And, it could mean different things to different people, but this is just my version of thriving. Okay. And so I'm kind of just sharing with it with you today. Okay. The first thing that I would say when I look at any situation in my life is, or forget look at any situation in my life, the first thing which is really of great importance to me is having, inner peace and having that inner balance. Okay. So hi everyone. Like I literally like see everyone as Facebook user because I'm using StreamYard to do this live. I only see the names as Facebook user. So it would be really great if you could if you could click on the link of StreamYard in the description and give it permission to show your name. Only then I will be able to see your name. Okay. Okay, cool. So, so the first thing for me is that no matter what, I'd like to have that inner balance, inner equilibrium, inner peace. Like these three things, I use these interchangeably. Okay, so okay, I still don't see anybody's name. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to open this up on my phone so that I can actually see your comments. Yay! Okay, now I see your comments. Yay! Okay, let me see who all are live. Hi, Minaz. Hi, Gianluca. Hi, Kavya. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Mariella. Yay! Thank you all for showing up at this time. Who's that? Who's the last one? Yes, Sylvia. No, I can't see you on the StreamYard dashboard, but I'm, using my phone. So on the phone, I can see you. So maybe there's a glitch with StreamYard. Okay. So the first thing is, no matter what is going on in my life, I'd like to have that inner peace and inner equilibrium, that inner balance. It's like, literally, like be unshakable no matter what is going on, right? Just be unshakable within no matter what is going on. uh, and for me, for a really, really long time, this has been of this has been of great importance. So many years ago, when I used to read, thank you, yes, yellow. So many years ago, when I used to read crayon books, the first thing that he spoke about is co-create peace. So when you're in the middle of a situation, when something is going not so great in your life, the first thing you ask for is to have peace. And I think this is something that I have always chosen, that the moment I go out of balance, what I am looking for is to find my inner center, find my inner balance. Okay. And now, recently, with all the energetic release stuff that I've been doing, what I find is that the moment I go off balance about something, I identify what is it that is bothering me. Okay. And whatever bothers me, I actually note it and I do energetic releases on it. And, that allows me to come to balance. So it's like literally like everything that upsets you, irritates you, makes you angry, brings up any of this, whole churn of emotions or thoughts or feelings or any of that, that is like literally a treasure for us. That is my treasure, because what that is showing me is that I am out of balance with that particular thing. I'm out of balance with that particular situation or whatever, and my buttons are being pushed in that situation. Like, someone else, their buttons may not be pushed in that situation, but yes, my buttons are being pushed. So if my buttons are being pushed, then there is something within me which is out of balance. So then it becomes a great entry point for me to access all those things which are making me out of balance, and to release those things. And once I release those things, then I'm free. So just to give you an example, a couple of days back, something happened, and I heard from someone that she had heard somebody else judging me. Okay, and the moment she said that, I went into such a out of balance space, and I went into this thing of, oh my God, she's judging me. And then from her judging me, I went into my own judgment, and all that good stuff that shows up around judgment. I had all of that, you know. And to be honest, I wallowed in it for some time. And then I went for my shower. And while I was in my shower, I said, wait a minute. It was just that person who judged me. Okay. So then I just released on that, So everywhere that person is judging me. And I did my release on that. Then I said, everywhere where I am bothered that that person is judging me. And then I did some more releases on that. And then, whatever, there was this train of thought which kind of showed up. And, I just kept following one thought after the other. And I just kept releasing on all those thoughts. And then after some time, I just forgot about it. I had my shower, and then I just went about my day. And then after a couple of hours, that person called me up, right? That person called me up, and she actually, the thing that she was judging me for, or I had heard that she had judged me for, she actually appreciated it. And I was like, what? Really? And then, later when I was thinking about it, I realized that due to the releases that I had done, number one, her judgment about that thing probably vanished. Number two, my judgment about her judging me also vanished. Number three, my judgment about myself also vanished. My judgment about that particular creation that I had also vanished. So, literally, by doing those few releases, I cleared all these judgments. And then suddenly, I had a very, very, very different experience of it. And I remember thinking, maybe I just, I misunderstood her. And I realized that that was not the case. I actually did not misunderstand her. I actually connected to her judgment, and that's why I went into such a meltdown about it. But the thing was that I, realized that I don't want to be out of balance with this. And I want to come back to balance. I want to come back to that state of freedom, to that state of inner peace, inner equilibrium. And just clearing all this brought me back to that thing. Now, this was actually a really small thing that had happened. But no matter what is going on in our life, and we face some challenging situations, what if, in those times, we kind of just took a step back and we said, okay, you know what, I'm just going to step back a little bit over here, and I'm going to look at what is triggering me here. And by trigger, I don't necessarily mean that it has to be like you're getting angry or irritated. The trigger could also mean that you are getting overwhelmed, or you're getting panicked, or you're getting grief stricken, any of those. So, for example, I have a really close friend, and her sister has been diagnosed with cancer. And just before this call, she was messaging me, and she was in this state of, she was in this state of so much sadness and so much panic. And, so those are triggers, right? Because, that whole thing about her sister having cancer is triggering all these things within her. Now, the important thing for us to realize is that they are triggering within her, like she is the common thread here, right? So, when these feelings also come up, what if, you were to just take a little step back and you were to kind of, you know, let go, release all those things, whatever have come up for you in that situation. And sometimes, when you are right in the middle of that situation, it can be a little difficult. But here's the thing: if you function from this whole way of being, that no matter what's going on, I'm going to come back to my state of balance, I'm going to come back to my state of inner peace, what happens is that when you are in that situation, you will remember. Now, the thing is, even if you don't remember when you are in the situation, you can always, later, when you think about that situation, you can later, think about it, bring up all those things, those thoughts, feelings, emotions, points of views, whatever, and then clear it. Okay. And whether you clear it during the situation, whether you clear it later, you are kind of reiterating the fact that yes, I am going to, I am choosing to go to this place of balance, I am choosing to go to this place of peace. Okay. And really, it's not really important here, what tool you use, although, there are some great tools that you can use. But what is important is actually choosing to have that peace, that balance, no matter what. Um, Let me know in the comments below if this is something that kind of is expansive for you. This is something that kind of is like an aha moment for you. Let me know in the comments below. Okay. So, number one is choosing inner peace, choosing that balance. Okay. Number two. Number two is to do with your self esteem, your self worth. Okay. Now, these are just, it can just be some random words, but basically, it has to do with having no judgment for yourself. Okay. And this is like a huge piece of the in this whole thing about thriving. You can thrive, you can really thrive when you have this piece dialed in, no judgment of self. Now, having said that, we live in this 3D reality, and the default in this reality is actually judgment. Because if you look at this whole reality, everything in this reality is trying to control you through judgment. Okay. So people will tell you, oh, you've put on weight, as if, telling you that you've put on weight is going to cause you to lose weight. So it's like, oh, if I judge her to be fat, then she will do something that will, maybe exercise or go on a diet or something like that, so that, she can lose weight. Not true. When you think about somebody telling you you've put on weight, don't you go into this sense of contraction, and you go into all kinds of, self-judgment, judgment about your body, and, all those things, and you just get trapped into that. So judgment is never, ever, 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 ever going to create. In fact, judgment is one of the most toxic things ever. You know, the like even if you judge yourself a little bit, you're creating such a level of toxicity in your whole life, in your whole body. So, the default of this reality is judgment, and you are going to judge yourself. There is no two ways about it. But the thing is to catch yourself when you're judging yourself and go, oh, I'm judging myself. Never mind, I'm not doing that anymore. It's literally that, just identifying that you are judging yourself, and then choosing that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to judge myself anymore. or use any tools that you have. You can use the energetic releases I do, you can use anything else, and just catch yourself and go, you know what, I'm not choosing that anymore. And this will actually require you to be really present. This will not allow you to kind of live by default, or just be in your default stage or in your autopilot mode. So you will really require to be very, very present, so that you can catch yourself when you are judging you and just go stop. So the second piece in the thriving uh, space is is actually choosing not to judge you. Okay. So Sylvia says, I still remember some bad judgments directed to me years ago. They stick on my sensitivity like a tattoo. Yes, I can totally get that. So I want you all to get some judgments, like maybe what people have judged you for. Get something in your awareness. Let me know. Like, I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to tune into some judgment. Maybe someone directed those judgments at you, or you took those judgments and then you kind of kept directing them at you, or some kind of judgments which is stuck in your space. Get something, okay, and let me know in the comments if you have gotten those things, okay, and then let's clear those. Okay, so all those judgments that people have directed at you, let's release on those. And let's release on those. When I say after that, in that space, I'm actually doing something called as energetic release. So you don't have to know what it is, it's just bring up your judgment and we'll release those, and then you will feel that relaxation, you will feel that letting go of that judgment. Okay, so all those judgments that have been directed at you, let's release on those. And everything within you and outside of you that keeps on attracting those judgments, let's release on that. And everything within you and outside of you that doesn't allow you to let go of all judgments. And everything within you and outside of you that keeps you judging you, let's release on that. So Sylvia, think about her saying that to you, and now everything that brings up for you, let's release on that. And everywhere everything that the words ignorant girl are bringing up for you, let's release on that. And take a breath, drink water if you have some handy. How's that for you? Let me know everyone, how did this now one of two things could happen. It's like either you will feel a sense of release because you've released a lot of judgments, or you might have more judgments come up. So if you have more judgments come up, just let me know in the comments and I'll do some more releases. But if not, we can go on. Okay. um all right. So number one is find your inner peace, inner balance, inner equilibrium, and always keep seeking that no matter what's going on with you. Number two is let go of judgment, whether it is judging yourself, judging others, or even if others have judged you. um, do that. So Sylvia, did you forgive her for that comment? Did you forgive yourself for letting it go? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we can do some forgiveness there. Okay. And then there is number three. Do you want to know what number three is? Who wants to know number three? Let me know in the comments, number three. Come on, guys. You guys have to talk to me. Otherwise, I feel like I'm having this conversation with myself in my head. And it's a little boring. Okay. So, number three is align with the will of God. Align with the will of God, right? So, a lot of times, what happens is that we get so caught up in our own heads that we don't necessarily see what the flow of life is. Okay. And when we actually align with the will of God, we start to be present with the flow of life, and we start to, so like think of this, think of a river. Okay. And as the river flows, is it easier to go with the flow, or do you find it easy to swim against the flow? So literally, that flow is the will of God. So if you align with the will of God, you will actually align yourself with the flow. You're going with the flow. That is the will of God. And that creates the most thriving in your life. Okay. How many of you have had those times when you were absolutely in flow, everything just fell into place, and everything just turned out even greater than what you had ever expected? That's going with the flow. That's aligning with the will of God. Okay. So always seek that flow. Find the flow in your life. Like one of the things that I ask for every day is I would like to align with the will of God 24/7. Now, does this mean that I am aligning with the will of God 24/7? Absolutely not. I'm not. But when I keep asking for that, then I have more and more of that show up. And when I have more and more of that show up, what also shows up is a lot of synchronicities and a lot of things falling in place a lot of things falling in place and everything going click, 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 and just coming together. That's what it is. Law of no resistance. Fantastic. um Law of no resistance could also mean something different. Yeah. It could also mean I don't know. I don't know, it doesn't have that energy. Like, can you explain it to me? Can you explain what you mean by law of no resistance? Okay. So the three things again. Number one is find your inner balance, find your inner equilibrium, find your inner peace. Number two is no judgment and let go of judgment. Get in the habit of letting go of judgment. And number three is align with the will of God 24 by 7. Um, I accept things as they are, as everything has something to teach me. Yeah, yeah, that kind of sounds like it. Right, exactly. Like, be present with whatever is as it is, and look for the gift. Yeah, every moment has a treasure to be discovered. Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, whatever emotions, whatever stuff comes up for you, that's your greatest treasure, because that's giving you an entry point into all the things that are actually out of balance for you. So these are my three things for thriving. And in challenging times, in all times, like, these are the three things that I live by. And I keep making more and more choices with these three things. So I would love to know what are some of the tools that you use to thrive, and whether it is in challenging times or whether it is in all the times, because calling something as a challenging time is also a judgment, isn't it? So if you look at it and you say that, oh, this is challenging, then you are creating more of that. You are giving energy to that. Okay. So even if you could look at the situation and you could release on whatever is coming up for you around the situation, then what happens is that then it's nothing is challenging anymore. You know what I mean? Nothing really will challenge you anymore. You will be able to find your balance, your peace very quickly. So let me know, what are some of your favorite tools to thrive? What are some of the things that um, so I have noticed that when I'm more present, synchronicities occur more often. It is as if I were actually stopping and listening to what the world has to say. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So everything within you and outside of you that doesn't allow you to be fully present in this moment, let's release on that. For instance, just before your live, I was reading a book of Cryon, and you mentioned it. Love it. I love it. That's like one of those synchronicities. Really, that was like a synchronistic moments. Yeah, absolutely. Which book were you reading? Yeah, I love Cryon. I've read all the. Maybe I've not read all the books. The recent ones I probably haven't, because I've listen to the channels and all so much. Which book were you reading? Um, but I've always found Crayon's channels to be one of those, really supporting kind of things. Lifting the Veil. Oh, that's like a really old one. The first book or it's the first book, right? Lifting the Veil. Wow. Love it, love it. Okay. So, what's that? Yeah, what else? I think I've basically spoken about thriving here. I don't really have much to talk about after this, unless you have some questions you want me to facilitate you on something, then just let me know. Um, let me know in your comment. Oh, your first book of Cryon. Yeah, maybe you can check out the website. There are some really amazing audio channelings that you can listen to, and listen to the ones which are from 2020. That kind of gives you a very different overview of this whole year. Yeah. Yeah, Mina is, yeah, you manifested this session. So that's another synchronistic moment for you. Okay. So, what else? Do you have anything you want me to talk about? I basically spoke about whatever I I had to speak, and I don't really have anything more. But if you want, I can do some more releases on judgments. So Mina said judgments about in-laws and family and comparing. Okay, so all the judgments you have about your in-laws, let's release on that. And all the judgments that your in-laws have about you, let's release on that as well. Kavya says she'd like a release on repeated failures. Okay, so all the repeated failures, let's release on that. Uh, what else? Holding on to past failure, let's release on that. Everything within you and outside of you that is holding on to past failure. I tried to release many equation I found I had in my mind. Equation? Did you mean questions, Gianluca, or what is it? What does equation mean here? I cannot make out. Sylvia says, "How about trying to spend time in nature to enhance our centricity with the universe? I find it changes my day." Yes, like being out in nature definitely is one of those. Energies which contribute to thriving. That's really important to me too. I love being out in nature. Like if they don't understand me, it means I'm wrong. In the end, another judgment. Oh, okay, okay. So Gianluca, can I be a little intrusive here and kind of like pull this apart for you? So, okay. So everywhere where you are, where you are trying to get people to understand you, let's release on that. Because can anyone really understand you? They can't, and so if you're trying to get people to understand you, you are like, in that vicious cycle of the snake chasing its own tail. It's never going to find it, it's never going to happen. So what you need to do is, release on your need to be understood. So all the need that you have to be understood, let's release on that. And everywhere you have this point of view that if they don't understand you, it means that you are wrong. Let's release on that as well. And take a breath. That was heavy. Okay. Mariella says, when I am intimate, connected with God, with prayer or meditation, I feel all positive. I feel in peace with the universe. And I believe I can give and receive love, help, and good relationships in general. Yes. Yes, absolutely. That connection with God. And that's exactly the thing, aligning with the will of God. Yeah. And the same thing, the connection with God. So aligning with the will of God, and being 100% with God. That's exactly what it is. Fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, uh, anything else? So, thank you everyone for being live with me. Uh, this time actually works so much better for me, because when it's a little later, I go to bed really early. So, like by 8:30, I I feel so sleepy. Um, so this is a good time with me. Sylvia says the toughest task is to get my family to understand that they should behave with compassion and love. I try hard when the people closest to you are sort of toxic. So here's my kind of take on it. Okay, you cannot really change anyone. You cannot change your family. You cannot, you know that just doesn't happen. But what you can do is you can be at peace with whatever is going on around you. So when your family behave in whatever way they behave, look at whatever is coming up for you and release it. Let it all go. All the thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything that comes up for you, just let it go, release on it. And when you release on it, you will come to this place of freedom. And when you come to that place of freedom, many times you will find that the behavior of people around you changes. But you are not actually, coming to that place of freedom because you want the behavior of others around you to change. You are actually coming to that place of freedom because you would like to be free. So even when people are being whatever they are being, maybe they are being angry, and maybe they are screaming or shouting or whatever they are doing, how is that affecting you? What's coming up for me because they are being like that? And what's coming up for me is the most important thing. Release all that. And when you function from that, that's when you will have more balance, more peace. That's when you are thriving, because how many people are you going to change? Like, today it's this person that you're trying to change. Tomorrow it's going to be someone else, and someone else, and there are 8 billion people on this planet. How many people can you change? So, don't put your energy out there. Come inwards. What is that behavior bringing up for me? And release that. And when you keep doing it, initially it might be a little difficult, but as you do it more and more, what you will find is that it gets easier and easier. So, thank you, everyone, especially everyone who was live with me today. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Next week, I will be live at the same time. If you have any suggestions for topics, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next week, same time. Bye, everyone. See you next week.